The Ramblin Tea House is an entertainment-only podcast, meaning we're for entertainment only. While laughter is the best medicine, it's not the only medical attention you should be seeking.
We have the same amount of degrees as WebMD, which is to say, none. Here at the Ramblin Tea House, we endeavor to handle all topics as respectfully as possible, but to err is human.
So tip your waitress, yeah by closing, and please, don't park over the line.
I overheard a conversation
When you were coming into the office, or like,
past the door that you won't let me open.
someone's in the employee entrance, like...
No.
Okay.
The table.
Yeah, okay.
Right by the...
Yeah, got it. Actual patron area.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, there was no one there was no one in the back.
Okay.
I think I saw Tedithy there once, but...
He's been told. He knows. Anyway, you overheard something.
So this lady was telling the lady that she came to lunch with that... So I found out that I have to get these nails off in order to have my wisdom teeth removed.
What?
She said that she had to get her nails off in order to get her wisdom teeth removed.
How do those things correlate?
I don't know.
How, in any way, shape, or form, do those things?
Unless she's doing it
together.
herself, like, with her hands. With her own too. She's the dentist. I figured
There we
it
go.
out.
It all goes together. Hold on. So, you're telling me that she, the dentist, is performing her own oral surgery. Okay, if this is the case, 1, how? 2,
Maybe she has the disease
How?
and she doesn't feel pain.
3, why?
Because she... Same reason you do everything, because she can.
No. No. Maybe she's just going old school with the dental work?
Go into our local butcher shop, like, just tie a string around it sort of deal.
Exactly.
Why?
Except for it's a wisdom tooth, so if it hasn't gone above the surface, that's just...
Well, she was a grown woman, so I'm guessing her wisdom teeth have come in by now.
It can take up to, I think, 28 for your wisdom teeth to come in.
I got mine when I was, like, 12.
My significant other, his didn't come in until he was, like, 25. And I didn't grow any, so...
You don't have wisdom teeth?
No. I did have one, but it was at the roof of my mouth.
You're the one that had the tooth in the roof of their mouth.
Yeah!
I couldn't remember who it was.
It was me. Yeah.
It's like a little horn, but you're a reverse unicorn.
No.
You don't want to be a unicorn?
I'm good.
With the homicidal rage and the glitter?
I have one of those things.
It's the glitter.
Does that make you feel better?
No.
Okay.
I'm definitely the one with the
I
glitter.
didn't grow wisdom teeth. I had, like, what they thought
Was
like,
a wisdom tooth?
they were like, yeah, that might be a tooth, but then they pulled it out and went, nah. But, yeah, no, I don't remember, it was a while back, and I was like, my mouth feels weird, and I was like, hey, Padre, what's up with my mouth? And he went, there's a fucking tooth in the roof of your mouth. And I went, no. And he went, yeah. And then I went to the dentist, and they're like, there's a tooth in the middle of the roof of your mouth. We should take care of that. And then they knocked me out, and they took it out, and they were like, oh, we're gonna take the rest of them out while we're at it. And then they went, oh, you don't have any. But that didn't stop them from cutting into my fucking jaw to try and find them. So I woke up and was like, I don't do well with sedation at all. Like, no. They left me unattended because they figured it'd take me a while to wake up.
No.
It didn't. I was like, okay, well, I'm out of here. And so I spit all the gauze out of my mouth, but I didn't do it right, so it, like, fell onto my shirt. No, so it fell onto my shirt, and I was like, okay, it's out of my mouth, I'm fine. And then I got up and started to try and find my way out, but you're in this, like, little back room.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, okay, this is the bath. Nope, how do I get out? And then one of the dental techs came in the back and was like, what are you doing? Because apparently, I couldn't feel it, but I had, like, blood rushing out of my mouth.
Uh-huh.
And that was all over me, and then I had been dribbling it everywhere, and it was a mess. I was like, he's here somewhere, and, like, you understand, I gotta get out of here. My appointment has been done, and I wish to leave.
I gotta go.
I'm gonna leave. Someone took my keys, though.
All
So-
my bags are packed.
And,
I
They stuffed my mouth with cotton.
Again,
and someone sat with me until they found him and brought him back, and he was like, why? Why? I was like, you know what we should do? We should raise mini alpacas with top hats.
Mini alpacas aren't a thing.
Not yet, they aren't.
Selective breeding just makes them worse, and alpacas are already too close to llamas, which makes them too close to Satan.
That's fair. But
you don't want to condense that evil.
You do. Then they're travel size.
No.
And they come with a free top hat.
Silk
I
top?
don't do well with
Silk top hat?
sedation. Yes.
I think you did great. You scared every attending in the room and came up with a master plan to selectively breed alpacas till they're a miniature rage-filled size, and then you'll pair them with little top hats to lull people into a false sense of security.
That was the plan, yeah. That was exactly the plan, yeah.
Now, were you planning on making, like, a little tortellinis, like 10 to a spoonful, like a little army of, like, land piranhas, but they're alpacas?
No.
No
the plan
army?
was just to have a whole farm filled with mini alpacas in top hats for the public. And that might be a threat. I don't know. I don't really remember my exact thought process at the time. Knowing me, it was probably a promise. So,
For the public.
yeah.
Not like Soylent Green for the public, like... But
Soylent Green is the public. So.
Nick. You're right.
Yeah, I am. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Never been chemically sedated. But
Yeah, they have to knock me out when they come at me with sharp implements to the face.
they just have to put extra numbing agent in it. 'Cause
Mhm.
my body goes, no, Alpain.
So you take the lidocaine and you just full on, just everywhere.
Well, like, the last time I went to the dentist, he was like, oh, is that good? I'm like, no, I can still feel it on that side. He's like, really? Because I numbed you up, like, all the way around. I'm like, ow.
Mhm.
Being a ginger's fun. You heard about that? Or stupid? Oh, you have, yeah. How is it that you grew up around a ginger and you didn't know what to do for sunburns?
He just becomes one big freckle.
He's one of those gingers.
Mm-hmm.
Solidarity. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I burn.
I know.
It's stupid. I
Yeah.
burn in the sun like a vampire. Because I'm a monster.
No.
Rawr.
Yeah, no. You tried.
With the
You,
fangs.
you failed that deception check.
Good. It means you don't think I'm a monster, which means I have success. Now I've thrown you off your rhythm. I've lulled you into a false sense of security, and I can attack you in the dead of night.
Is that so?
That's the master plan. No, we've established that at this point I send the assassins and they always fail. That's why we're friends. I intentionally send really bad assassins because I like it.
That's a waste of money.
No, I'm supporting freelance artists.
It's just compiling the lies, and it's just going downhill, and there's a trench at the bottom that you're not going to be able to crawl out of. Is this it? This is the brink?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think I'm like, oh, that's a long way down. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go.
You tried.
Well, you stopped following me. You're still way up on the hill, and I'm like, hey, how's the weather from up there?
Yeah.
So, also, we're just waiting for the delivery truck to show up.
Yeah, once the delivery truck shows up, we'll be able to get all that inventory in, and then go up and speak words at people
From our faces.
from the face about things.
I'm gonna yawn.
Don't do it.
I'm gonna yawn.
We have a whole show to do. No yawning.
Too late, it's already happened. It's been done, man. Nope.
Fix the time-space continuum just a little bit. Just tweak it to the left. It's how I've put myself into all of your guys' lives. To insert yourself in the timeline. You
Just a little bit to the left.
And then just merge it together. It takes a rubber mallet and, 3 months.
Do you just, crack the time-space continuum up in, a sake crate?
It's a little more complicated than that. Think of it as, an egg made out of goo. So when you hit it, it just kind of jiggles. It's a Jell-O egg. It's a Jell-O egg, so you have to heat it up a little bit, and then you just peel back the layers. And then you take yourself and you hit yourself
Why would you
into the
heat?
crack.
Why would you heat a Jell-O egg?
Because if you just cut it, then, mass genocide.
no, but I mean,
And the waffle never gets invented. And then on top of that, vinyl never happened. And I can't live without Zeppelin. So,
can we make the 8-track never happen so people don't
No.
talk about it?
no. I enjoyed my 8 tracks, okay?
No, but an actual Jell-O egg. Why would you heat a Jell-O? Please tell me you've never heated a Jell-O egg. Why?
I wanted to see what would happen.
it will turn back to a liquid.
Yep. Slowly. That's the continuous slow heat. That's how you fix a space-time continuum. Continuous slow heat.
You got it.
And a rubber mallet.
Gotta put it on a simmer.
That's where that heat gun comes in.
Oh. No, but I came into the kitchen the other day and you were heating, what was it? You were glazing fucking cheesecake with a heat gun, like an industrial outdoor heat gun.
Oh yeah, creme brulee cheesecake.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. They won't let me have a butane torch anymore, legally.
Mouse, stop it.
What are you doing? Oh, delivery truck.
I'm gonna go find Kevin.
You go find Kevin. I'll tell Daisy they're here so she can get the paperwork in order. Daisy, do you have the thing I asked for? So apparently, acrylic nails. The reason you can't have them on is because of the general anesthesia for the O2 sensor.
Oh, you gotta put it on your finger.
Yeah. But anyway. Welcome to the Ramblin Tea House. I'm Nick.
I'm Lilli.
Today, we'll be surveying rainwater in a high-rise glass over holy stones. We're gonna pan in. It's pretty dreary out. It's kind of wet. It's cloudy. It's almost nighttime. The sun is setting.
Like nautical twilight. Like there's still light in the sky, but it's kind of dark on the ground.
In the next 5 minutes, there will be no light.
Yeah.
Okay. So we see this old building. It could be a church. You can see, like, the statues up on the roofs and around the doorway.
Is there a bell in the steeple sort of thing?
No, it's not that kind of church. No. You can see this person on the outside of the building. Because I can, they're gonna be a professional. They're not gonna have a crowbar. They're gonna have a screwdriver, because that's how you do that. And they're in a ski mask, because why not?
Are they intending to go skiing?
No. They're walking around the building. Pretty soon, they get to the back entrance. The only thing there is, a couple buildings.
So they're breaking into a church.
Yeah. So they go to the window and they start trying to jimmy rig the window open. It's kind of stuck. And as you're watching them try and wiggle and get in, the light goes away. And we pan out and that's the sky and you notice that the statues are gone. And we pan back and the burglar's gone. And then we pan out again and the statues are back.
Are Weeping Angels based on a real thing?
Yes.
Should I be afraid?
Always.
I mean, I got that part down.
No.
The light's gone.
The light's gone. But the statues
set.
Are back. And you get to look at them, and they're these stone creatures with grotesque teeth and horns, and they have spikes down their back and these huge leathery wings, but it's all made out of stone.
About gargoyles.
So we're gonna talk about gargoyles!
So, I have a lot of feelings about gargoyles, and I blame the television show.
We're gonna talk about that.
And Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Okay,
so
I'll keep it right here.
Gargoyles. So we should start at the beginning because there's a little bit of
lore
there, but there's also actual physical reasons that gargoyles exist on buildings. So gargoyles, they're actually called grotesques.
Huh. Aren't most of them, like, actual faces? Like, a lot of them are worked into, like, drainage pipes and buildings and
yes!
things.
So, gargoyle comes from the French word... Oh, shit. The French is really bad.
But it's better than mine.
Gargouille? Yeah, gargouille. And it basically means throat or gullet. So basically what happened is you had these huge stone buildings, and it would rain, and with that comes a lot of complications, especially when you're dealing with stonework and masonry.
It'll leak.
Because it'll puddle, and then all of a sudden you have erosion, especially if it runs down the building. And because you want to have a nice facade, if you let rainwater drip down the sides of the building, it's stained, it grows mold,
you
and
get moss.
So what they did is they made little turrets, basically. They're drainage pipes. But they put faces on them. Gargoyles
are drains.
They're the water spouts to protect against all the erosion and everything on buildings.
I also feel like you would use those offensively in the event of an attack.
Well, that's the thing with grotesques. The actual stone statues that you see at the top where it's not a water spout.
It's just a beastie.
It doesn't serve a practical function that you can see.
Mm-hmm. That you can see.
I just see your face. Because, gargoyle. How the fuck do you say gargouille? It's Gargouille. Yeah, I get gargouille. Like bouillabaisse. Yeah, there you go. Words.
Yeah, I'd use your French brain.
I'd use my French brain. So, yeah, the gargle, water, throat, gullet,
all this stuff here.
Info.
Etymology or entomology?
Ichthyology? Because water, fish.
No, but I always forget. I think etymology is words, and entomology is...
Grotesques were put there
To scare the shit out of
As
people?
a sentinel, they watch the building.
In the days before Walmart security.
In the days before
We
Walmart
didn't
security.
have greeters,
Yeah.
so we had gargoyles.
I mean, who needs to pay somebody for all that security system that maybe works when you can just have a supernatural being come eat people? We're gonna put this monster to keep out the evil.
Funny that when I think
I
gargoyles,
mean, evil likes beauty, so yeah, I get it. But the original, like, grotesque forms were like dragons, and it kind of moved from there.
I'm still hung up on the evil loves beauty thing.
They're actually one of the only creatures that is a good thing that lives in the darkness. Like, that's what they are. They're part of the world of night and shadow, but they're there as protectors rather than yeah, a holy symbol kind of.
Yeah, I think like Germanic Gothic churches. With
Also,
these-
have you seen the descriptions of angels? They're horrifying.
They're horrific.
They're horrifying. We're gonna go with the evil of, well, the destruction of beauty.
Which beauty or the destruction thereof?
Well, in order to destroy it, you have to find it. When you love something, you put a lot of time and effort into it. So, both.
Yep.
You doing good over there?
I need a minute.
But yeah, the original grotesque were based off dragons, and then it kind of just morphed from there. Yeah.
So I want a dragon. I can't do a dragon. Can you make like a small dragon? I can make a small dragon. Also, this side of the wall is eroding, so can you put like a drainage pipe like through the dragon?
Yeah, because if you've ever seen a drainage pipe, they're not pretty.
They're not pretty.
So you have to have aesthetic. Like, if you can fix a problem with dragons, fucking do it.
I could just see you as some like 14th century masonist. The guy's like, I will hire you to put in some drains on my castle. You're like, you are hiring me to make a dragon.
Exactly. That's exactly what happened.
I said drainage pipes. They're drainage pipes. They're just now cool drainage pipes.
You use the detailing to kind of spread the base, and then the water that kind of goes out erodes it, and it makes it sticky.
So they can't get it off.
Yeah. It's like getting a bag of cement wet, but make nature do it. The long game.
It's really funny, because sometimes you're like, I have no patience. I will not wait the 5 seconds. And sometimes you're like, planning this for years.
Pick your battles. Did you have another question? So,
where did the lore come from?
the lore?
Why are they small?
They're not always small. Have you seen some of them? They're gigantic. Some of the ones, they only look small because of how high the
way up
building
there.
is.
Yeah.
And they're just constantly watching you. Because they're sentinels. They're doing their job. They're the best security you can possibly afford.
Good boys.
Good boys.
So, fun fact, did you know that the statue of David is actually not proportional because it's meant to be seen from far away?
Yes.
I know you know that because you're an art hoe, but...
You said it, but do you know?
It's an opening line. Sometimes you surprise me, like with the Merchant of Venice. I just assume you know all Shakespeare because you don't sleep. And then you're like, no, I'm not really familiar with the Merchant of Venice. I'm like,
Yeah.
So yeah, Lord's boys, good boys, guard dogs.
They were meant to ward off evil and, be the protectors against evil. And like I said, one of the only mythological creatures
That are good.
that in the front of my brain lives in the nighttime.
Gargoyles make me think of like golems and things like that. Like these creatures we created to do our bidding sort of thing.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Which, going back to the Doctor Who thing, statues, man. I'm not about statues. I don't enjoy them. I really like gargoyles, though.
There's one good statue. I take it back. It's not a good statue. It's a lie.
So do you like that it's a lie or that it's a statue?
I like
Or
that it's a
is neither
statue
of
of
those
a dog. I don't like that it's a lie.
Okay.
So the Balto statue in New York.
Ah, okay. No, I don't do statues. I like gargoyles, though.
Why aren't they just
I
statues?
know what they're about. Also,
And since
as a child, I watched Doctor Who, and no, it taught you to fear statues. You don't take your eyes off them because they don't take your eyes off you.
I still can't stand the shadow episode. Every time I see a double shadow, even though I know how optics works, my brain goes, like, no, please. They were scarier when they didn't have bodies, and then Moffat gave them bodies in the second episode, and I'm like, not scary anymore.
Okay, did he give them bodies, or was that already a thing he just showed them? I'm just saying.
They had bodies, but they were invisible.
Not invisible. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not physically there.
I didn't say not there, I said invisible, not visible. They have bodies, we just can't see them.
Or they weren't in the room. Or they weren't in that dimension. Maybe they were just trying to borrow a body. I mean, most people aren't using theirs anyway. It's free real estate. Do you want to go back to talking about gargoyles
Can
now?
we talk about gargoyles now?
Okay, so that's what they are. They're these sentinels that were meant to protect buildings and the people in them.
And since you have no plans to rob a church, you're fine.
I have no plans to rob a church.
Your mom would beat you with a shoe before the gargoyles ever got to you.
That's a... Let's go back to talking about gargoyles.
It's like when
It wasn't until... I think there was a story written in the 30s where gargoyles were these monstrous creatures whose intent was evil. But that's not what they are.
Is it just because they're ugly?
Yeah, because people are vain assholes.
Well, there was a big concept in Christianity for a long time that beauty equated to goodness, so ugly things were inherently evil.
I'm just throwing this out there. Read the description of what an angel looks like.
They have multiple arms and eyeballs and heads, and
They're just a ball that spins with stuff in it.
they look like a Lovecraftian horror.
He got it from somewhere.
He got it from his fear of brown people
That
and
too.
vaginas.
Am I... Okay, we're moving on. I got that. Yeah, okay. Don't throw anything at me. Okay.
Why would I throw this at you? I'm drinking it.
Eventually it will be empty.
Right.
Okay, so 30s, they were the bad guy. Which, no. So
They're good boys. They're just ugly boys.
they're actually used in a lot of popular media, but we're gonna go with bad examples first. As you might be aware, I really like the X-Files.
The pop figure gave it away. I would have the ginger, but that's just me.
Dana Scully.
Gillian Murphy.
Anderson.
Gillian Anderson. I was close.
You're so close. So, hold on. Let me get the catalog out in my brain. Okay. It's season 3.
Episode.
The episode is called Grotesque.
Okay.
14. So, it's called Grotesque. And basically what happens is they use the term gargoyle for this monstrous creature that has basically taken over somebody as a spirit.
Like a demon?
Kind of. But they use, instead of stone, because most gargoyles are made out of stone, but for this one they used, like, clay metaphors, because clay is just stone with bits in it, or bits with stone in it. Yes.
Either way.
It's
earth.
dirt. It's earth. It came out of the ground to make a horrifying figure. And the whole episode is about how this gargoyle,
Air quote.
has taken over
This dude's
this
body.
dude's body. Who it's, what was his name? Kurtwood. Red Foreman.
I have no idea what his name is, but yeah.
Yeah, Red Foreman from that 70s show.
Dumbass.
Bill Patterson. And it's Fox's old mentor. The main thing that the episode is like, oh yeah, it's this evil spirit that took over this man because it felt kinship to him, because his take on catching criminals was, I'm gonna get inside their heads. And the gargoyle went, oh,
Can I get
same!
inside yours?
No, he went, same! We believe the same things! Let me help you.
No.
So, they went, here's a cool concept, and went,
We're gonna
just
Jimmy Rig a little.
blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And there's also, it's been a really long time since I've seen it, but there's like this 70s B-rated movie called Gargoyles. I don't really remember the storyline, but I know that they used gargoyles, and it definitely wasn't a gargoyle.
See, if
I need to rewatch that, actually.
If I didn't know if I didn't know about gremlins, I would think that episode of The Twilight Zone was about gargoyles with Shatner.
Yeah, no, gargoyles are very much earthbound, rather than... So, I looked into legally how much I can quote this, and so I'm gonna save it for my top favorite movies show that we do. But there's also a really bad example of gargoyles in Ghostbusters, the terror dogs.
I'm not really familiar with Ghostbusters.
What?
I've seen it once.
No!
I've never seen the
No,
second one.
it's a fantastic movie! It's ridiculous and stupid, and... it just popped into my head.
That part I remember. That part is seared into my brain. Do you really love Ghostbusters?
I do. I enjoy Bill Murray.
I also enjoy Bill Murray.
And Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah, he's sometimes. It depends on the part. Sometimes he's good, and sometimes I'm like, man.
And Sigourney Weaver. And Rick Moranis.
I
Sigourney Weaver plays Dana.
don't remember her being in that movie at all.
Yeah!
I've been thinking about getting a copy of Alien, because as I'm studying horror movies, people are like, hey guys, have I mentioned that Alien is a work of art?
Well, it also uses practical effects. Practical effects are always great.
Always better.
They're always good. So yeah, Sigourney Weaver, her and Rick Moranis' character are the Keymaster and the Gatekeeper, and they get transformed into these terror dogs from at the big climax of the movie. Is that in the
first movie?
Yeah. We're gonna have to rewatch it. I'm gonna have to put off all of the comments so that it doesn't get spoiled. But, basically, there's two statues that get possessed by them and then they turn into terror dogs. And it's basically the whole evil possession because gargoyles are, if you think about it, it's just stone imbued with spirit, which isn't far off from a lot of mythology.
I mean...
It's blessed rocks, which is part of our special.
Yeah. Okay.
And the rainwater comes in because gargoyles have water manipulation in a lot of their mythology.
I saw that in the D&D manual, and I didn't understand why creatures I always associate with fire had water powers.
No fire. I don't know why. Maybe because of Hunchback. So, yeah. Well, damn.
That was such a great scene.
We'll move on from Ghostbusters then. Yeah. Because we're gonna have to come back to this.
Yeah.
I love that movie so much. So much.
I thought it was a lot of green slime and Bill Murray screaming.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I didn't. I was like, somewhere between 8 and 12.
Okay.
You look like I've wounded you.
Yeah.
Were you so excited to talk about Ghostbusters? I was. It's not spoiling. I've seen it before.
No. Just because you've seen it doesn't mean you've watched it.
This is true. This is true.
Okay, so all bad examples.
Now, what are the good examples?
So... Hunchback of Notre Dame.
They're
the Disney movie.
They're just little boys. They're there to help out and make sure you don't fuck with the cathedral.
Yeah. They were there as protectors and, like, they help out Quasimodo because, okay, we're leaving the book over here.
On its nice little
because
pedestal.
We have Victor Hugo and Laverne over here. Get it, Victor Hugo? Because it's the author. Mm-hmm.
It took me a while. As a child, I was like, wait, Victor
Hugo Laverne.
Is that his? That's not his full name, is it?
Victor Hugo? It's his full name. No, Laverne is the sassy one.
I know Laverne's the sassy one, but also I would not be surprised if he was French. He was British? French? Was he actually French? No, he's British.
Victor Hugo's French.
Okay.
Les Miserables.
I know, but he's got a very English name. But yeah.
It's sad.
Him being French, I wouldn't be surprised if he had, like, a Laverne or some crazy...
Also, he was selling sadness. That's what he does as a person.
When I found out in the books that Quasimodo's just dead at the end, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, he's not even dead. He's, like, curled up to her body and starves to death. It's fucking terrible.
Yeah, they find his bones wrapped around hers.
Yeah, and they pull him off, they turn to dust. It's sad! It's sad!
And Phoebus is a dick, and Frollo's not actually the bad guy. Not in the same way he is in the movie. You know what I mean? He's still definitely the antagonist.
He doesn't kill her.
He just tortures her.
Huh?
He tortures her.
In the
book.
Disney movie?
In the book.
Oh, yeah, in the book, he tortures her, kills her, hangs her.
Does he hang her?
Yeah. Dead.
Oh.
Yeah. It's not a happy story.
No, Les Mis is worse. So gargoyles. Victor Hugo and Laverne.
So much for putting it on that tiny little thing over there, Lily.
You started.
So, Victor Hugo's sad, sad man, and he's dead. Unlike the gargoyles. Because, stone. Takes a while. Erosion and all that. Long lifespans. But that's what they were there for. Because one, Disney couldn't make a movie without adding some sort of comic relief and changing much of the story.
Oh, God. Everything except for the fact that Clopon's funny.
Victor Hugo and Laverne were the three gargoyles there that were the protectors of the
Quasimodo,
the cathedral,
the people
in the cathedral. That was what they did, because that's who gargoyles are supposed to be. So Disney did better than most people.
Than the X-Files.
That very fact.
That specific thing.
Yeah. The X-Files just goes, hello. Monster of the week?
Yes.
Let's see what we can do with this. Yeah. Serial killer monster?
Huh?
Because why not?
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your thing.
Twist. I enjoy the twist. The twist is good.
See, I like serial killers or monsters. I don't necessarily like them combined. I like my monsters and my people. And I like
people are monsters.
I know, but I like my monsters.
They just have a shiny coat.
I like my monsters.
They clear coat them.
I like my monsters.
Buff them a little bit.
I like my monsters people to be people. You know what I mean?
I I understand what you mean. People are still terrible. And monsters.
I like the bit at the end where you get to take the mask off and you find out that it was actually old Mr. Jenkins all along.
Or the real estate agent.
Mm-hmm.
Or the lawyer. Or the milkman.
What did the milkman do?
He knows what he did.
Do you think there are places in America where there still are straight up milkmen?
Probably.
Like door to door?
Probably.
That'd be cool.
No, because he's a serial killer. We've established this.
So, Disney did a good job.
Disney did a really good job, because also the pigeon thing. Just saying.
I'll be spitting feathers for a week. Well, that's what you get for sleeping with your mouth open.
Yeah. Pigeons. They're stupid. I love them.
I thought you hated birds.
I do. But I love them as something to watch be stupid. They gather in flocks, and I've watched them nearly try and take each other out at the same time while trying to go for something that doesn't exist. They assume there's something there, and they knock their heads together, and then they slap each other with wings, and then they fly off. I am poor and need free entertainment.
You said they're sky rats.
No, seagulls. Seagulls are rats with wings.
Why do you hate seagulls?
Because they're fucking rats with wings. The only reason they're not mice is because they're stupid, but they actually know how to get shit done. So rats with wings.
I thought you liked rats, though. Rats are good boys.
That's what I just said. Rats are good boys, but seagulls don't have common sense.
So they should be mice, then.
They have the intelligence factor. Mice don't have the intelligence factor. Intelligence plus no common sense and wings equals a seagull. Seagulls are terrible.
So, Hunchback of Notre Dame, gargoyles.
Gargoyles. Actual gargoyles. And I'm talking about the 1994 animated television show. Would you like to talk about that? Do you have some feelings? Lilli, do you have some feelings about that show?
I have so many feelings about that show.
Okay. What are your feelings about that show?
Okay, so
you hate it so much. I'm aware.
It's the worst. So, I grew up with a dad who watched a lot of Star Trek. And then when Star Trek was over, he'd be like, okay, it's your turn now. And so I'd flip through the channels, and then I'd hear the voices from Star Trek Next Gen. And I'm like, what is this? What have I stumbled upon here?
Mm-hmm.
Myth? Legends? Magic? Women characters that don't fucking suck? What is this? It's gargoyles. Your grandpa watches this show. Just put the IV in. Also, Demona gives me life.
Okay.
And Angela.
Okay.
And I ever said if I got a big dog, I'd name him Goliath because of that. And the fucking dog, Bronx, he's the best boy. He's the best boy in a room of good boys. I physically can't. You remind me of the red one.
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
No sleep till donut. And that's all we can have.
But yeah, the episode where he's like, I'm gonna get a motorcycle. And then it blows up in his face.
So, for those of you who don't know, Gargoyles was an animated show made by Disney and Buena Vista, I think.
Maybe.
I think it was Buena Vista. But it was about a group of gargoyles who, in Scotland, they were guarding a castle.
And then they pissed off the wrong guy and got cursed to sleep for 1,000 years. And then this rich guy, played by Jonathan Frakes, is like, hey, I'm gonna move the castle to my skyscraper because it said that they'll sleep until the sky rises above the clouds. So he's like, I'm just gonna put it above the clouds.
The castle rises above the clouds.
Yeah. So he just moves the castle above the clouds, and then they wake up.
His superpower is money.
His superpower is money!
Yeah.
And having a hot wife.
We don't talk about the physics of putting a fucking Scottish castle
on top of a skyscraper.
On a skyscraper.
But he only put part of it. He only put the part they were on.
Do you know? Okay, yeah, okay, yeah.
No, let's what you got?
Architecturally speaking, the physics of that.
They built a sideways skyscraper.
No, but with it's.
They put the big part at the top.
Exactly. So you have it up, and you have the wind going. So you have all this full-on stone. No, it doesn't physically make sense.
Magic.
I know, and that's
magic. It's magic.
It's magic.
Yay! It's a magical gargoyle, Charlie.
The mechanical engineering is fucked up. But it's a good show, so we ignore it.
Amazing.
Yeah. So that's the premise of the show. They get moved to New York.
And then they decide, except for Goliath, who's the only one who had a name, and Demona. No, Demona didn't have a name.
Didn't have a name.
Goliath was the only one with a name, so when they get there, they decide to name themselves after what's around them. So Bronx, Brooklyn, Broadway, Lexington. Lexington is such a good boy.
Hudson. You can't forget Hudson.
old one who's not played by Sean Connery.
Yes. The mythos, they're creatures of the night.
They're protectors.
They're protectors.
They're creatures of good.
They're creatures of good.
They're...
And the whole name thing makes a whole lot of sense, because if you think about it, why? They know what they are.
Why do they need names?
Why do they need names?
Their leader has a name.
But that's because the humans gave it to him.
Yeah.
Humans and their obsession with boxes.
And then Demona, when she's kind of claiming her...
The humans named her.
Yeah, well, she also, when she was, like, claiming... There was an episode where Goliath tries to call her by the old pet names he used to call her, and she goes, "No, I am Demona." And I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, my love, my dear, my sweet.
I love that show so much. I have, like, the first 2 seasons on DVD.
Yeah, it ran for 3 seasons. It was a good show.
There's an episode where an evil scientist and Nessie, and I just can't. And then there's a whole episode with, like, these Egyptian god suits, and then the pack, and then Avalon, and the Weird Sisters, and fucking Puck.
And Merlin.
Fuck Merlin.
But it's a good show. It's been a while.
It was amazing.
They did great with the mythos. That whole show actually brings a lot of mythos into it.
Well, and it expands the
That's pretty
mythos continuously throughout the show. It's not just some mindless kids show. Like, you get to learn about each of the gargoyles' personalities and how they became to be, like... If you watch the show long enough, they almost guard specific things each creature does.
Well, it's because they're supposed to be guardians for good. Like, this is what they find good. So they protect it.
There's a whole episode in the first season where Lexington sees a mortal being, like, mugged in the streets, and Broadway.
Bronx is a dog.
Broadway is like...
He's a good boy.
He's a good boy.
He's what the terror dogs should have been. So, instead of what
What
we're
they
not
made
going
them.
to talk about Ghostbusters yet. But the terror dogs and Bronx. Bronx is a good boy.
I always...
Because actually there are gargoyles. A lot of the time they're depicted with wings and everything. But a lot of the grotesques that are on the facades of buildings don't have wings. They're just
dogs.
Monsters. They're monsters who don't do monstrous things.
I feel that. No, but there's a whole episode where Lexington, like, sees all these mortals in trouble, and he's like, "I want to help." And then Brooklyn and Broadway are like, "Oh, but you can't. We gotta stay in the shadows." And he's like, "It's our job to protect people." And then Goliath's like, "Hey, man, it is our job to protect people, but also don't get yourself in danger, because these people they weren't raised with the lore. They don't know what we are. They think that we're monsters."
Yeah.
I understand you want to protect people, but maybe protect the castle like it's your job or something.
It is.
And then it becomes this whole huge thing because drama happens and they have to leave the castle.
Mm-hmm.
And they turn to stone every night. And so
Every morning.
And so there's this whole qualm where you have to find a safe place to sleep.
Well, yeah, during the day,
There's stone.
there's the stone, which stone can be killed.
Very first episode, like half of their family gets most of their family
Crushed.
in
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They wait
It's
till
sad.
They wait till the morning and they're like, "Hey,
Betrayal. Because humans are monstrous. I don't have anything against you guys.
yeah, you do. Shut up." You like pretty much all dogs without exception, people on a case-by-case basis. This is you pleading the fifth.
Yep.
So,
I know that amendment.
we can't talk about Ghostbusters because I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I know you love the X-Files. I love the Gargoyles. Hunchback of Notre Dame is a really saccharine movie. Actually, I honestly think that's the best Disney movie they've ever made.
Okay, so I have one more good example of gargoyles. Have you ever seen I, Frankenstein? It has Aaron Eckhart in it.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah, it's been a minute since it came out. I think it was 2014. I'm looking at the page like it's going to tell me.
It was like 2004. It was a while ago.
2014.
It was older than that, I
It was
think.
2014. Aaron Eckhart and the dude who plays Victor in Underworld. Bill.
Victor. Oh, Bill Nye.
Bill Nye. Yeah, him. He plays the demon prince. Because in I, Frankenstein, setting aside the fact that it's pretty much just Frankenstein fanfiction, it's okay. A lot of my favorite movies could be attributed to fanfiction from some genre or another.
After seeing I, Frankenstein and Max Payne, I didn't go see Dracula, the one with Luke Evans in theaters.
Dracula Untold.
Yeah, because I'm like, I know it's going to be the same.
I enjoy all of
Max Payne?
I enjoyed the aesthetic that they went for. Like,
it was
the filming.
very Sin
It was
City.
very Sin City-ish. It was also based off a video game.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna let you know, all movies based on video games are terrible. Like Doom.
I have an exception that
No.
proves the rule.
Okay.
Witcher.
Nope. And it's a series, not a movie.
And it's based on a book.
But no. Every movie.
I want fanfiction of Roach from Witcher and Bill from The Lord of the Rings going on their own epic adventure.
No one's stopping you.
I'm doing it.
Okay. Like, Doom was terrible. Doom was so bad. Yeah, no.
I thought it was based on a book.
No.
Oh,
Video game.
Dune is the book.
Dune is a book. And no, we just hopped like 18 different genres and decades. But I Frankenstein.
They had these, like, stony, winged, glowy-eyed monsters.
Gargoyles.
Yeah.
They had actual gargoyles that their job was from the church to be protectors of good, to, like, go and fight demons and evil because it needed to be eradicated from the world.
I have a very important question. Are
Yes.
gargoyles a thing in Vampire the Masquerade?
Okay, so gargoyles in Vampire the Masquerade are basically these subservient beings that get
Other
made.
golems.
Yeah, they basically turn them into a golem.
Cool. Gotcha.
It's a fucked up process.
Cool, so add that to the shit list.
That's
So-
another example of a bad gargoyle. Yeah, no, I Frankenstein did a really good job with the mythos. They did. They're like, oh, it's this order of beings that protect, and they're all about being good, and they do have their holy mission that kind of goes off to the side.
They
And it's like,
seem like stony paladins.
yeah,
Like devotion paladins made out of rock.
yeah, they're supposed to be sentinels for good.
The concept of thinking of them as rock brings a whole new meaning to the song Sinner Man.
I mean, we're on that day.
Will I run to the rock? Please hide me. I run to the rock, etc., etc.
I run to the sea.
I'm not gonna hide you. Every time I hear that song, I interpret it differently, and it gets creepier every time.
Well, that's the thing about music. It's how you interpret it.
I know.
There's certain songs that there's no way around what they're about. But
They're usually
it's very blatant what they're about, usually.
like Seven Rings. There's not a lot of depths there.
That's not the example I was thinking of, but yeah.
What were you thinking of?
I just have that one. It Sir Mix-a-Lot.
What song do you have in your head?
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
Shrek.
Not a lot of depth there. Like you know.
I mean,
I should say the meaning of the song is at the surface.
yes, it is. Music is all art in general is how you interpret it.
No, but like
Which gargoyles technically count as art. So it's just when you really love something, you put your soul into it.
No! No! No!
That was a terrible joke.
No!
I mean, that's pretty much all a golem is.
Yeah, and golems are fucking terrifying. Actually, golems in like their core Judaic lore are really interesting. But
They
the
are.
interpretations of golems
Yeah, no.
in fantasy lore, like
Yeah, no.
specifically
Flesh golem.
Frankenstein's a flesh golem.
Yes.
Frankenstein's a flesh golem. There's only one good Frankenstein, and it's the Frankenstein from Penny Dreadful. And I mean the monster. That's the best Frankenstein's monster I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Second,
Okay.
Van Helsing. Yeah.
I enjoy the Van Helsing one.
I love in the bloopers when he's sitting in the block of ice in full costume and he goes, I'm a cold-hearted bitch.
That's beautiful. Okay, what else? My favorite gargoyle. I have a favorite gargoyle. Okay.
Should I brace myself?
Maybe. It's a book character.
Okay.
His name is Constable Downspout.
Is this a fucking Terry Pratchett character?
Yes!
All I needed to hear was that name.
His name is Constable Downspout, and he gets paid in pigeons.
Does he eat the pigeons?
Yes!
Constable Downspout.
Get it? Because the gargoyle? Because it all ties it together. Nice little package.
Downspout.
Constable Downspout.
He gets paid in pigeons.
Anyway, yeah.
I need more Terry Pratchett in my
You
life.
need more Terry... Everybody needs more Terry Pratchett in their life.
Like, I have a lot of Neil Gaiman. I don't have a lot of Terry Pratchett.
Yeah. He gets paid in pigeons.
You must bring me 6 pigeons. What? You heard me?
Something like that. But, yeah, he's good.
He's a good
He's
boy.
the best. Okay, yeah, that's...
I'm here to investigate and to hold people accountable for their actions.
But, yeah.
Yes.
No, you should read more Terry Pratchett.
Is that in Hogfather?
Hogfather is part of Discworld, yeah. But it's not.
Isn't Discworld, like, a huge-ass series?
Yeah, he's the constable of,
That was a fun facial
I've never
articulation.
had to say that word out loud.
Carlisle.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
The first time I saw Carlisle spelled, I'm like, I know that's a word.
Hold on. The important part is that Constable Downspout exists, and that's all that needs to be said. Is there any other questions you have about gargoyles, other than the fact that probably right now you've been thinking about going and watching gargoyles since we said the word gargoyle at the beginning of the show?
Yeah, there is that.
Uh-huh.
Since I own the first 2 seasons on DVD,
Yeah.
and I look at them a lot and then don't put them in.
Okay.
So yeah, we should, after we give the Hellhounds their monthly sulfur bath.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So sulfur baths. We got this.
Got
We're good.
this. Gargoyles are good boys.
Gargoyles are good boys.
I always pet them and people don't like it.
I mean, would you like someone touching you when you can't move away?
Not the gargoyles, the humans don't like it.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe they're just empathizing with the gargoyle, even though they don't know. Like subconscious psychic abilities.
I think mostly they're like, why are you petting that statue? I'm like, he's a good boy.
Just saying.
Are you petitioning for the autonomous rights of gargoyles?
Always.
What is the plural of gargoyle?
Gargoyles?
Is it?
I'm trying to conjugate that in French and I don't want to.
No.
That's what my brain's doing. Water spouts. Ah! Throats.
So yeah, gargoyles are good boys. Maybe don't pet them. Don't break into fucking churches.
Don't break into churches shouldn't even be a thing that needs to be said, but apparently here we are.
I mean, it didn't work out so well for Coco. So.
Dragons fix everything is another thing, as we all know.
Or they fuck everything up.
I said what I said.
I think Smaug is kind of the exception that proves the rule.
I said what I said. He put those humans in line.
Firstly,
and on that note...
Firstly, they were dwarves and elves. Secondly...
No, he just kicked the dwarves out. Then the humans were so terrified to wake him up. Which, that's how you do it. When you're napping, you make sure no one wants to wake you up. You bring so much fear that when you nap, people refuse to wake you.
If I have to wake you for any reason, not that you sleep, but I would do it from a distance.
That's a good plan.
I would probably get a pole and, like, poke your foot with it.
Does that make me the Grinch?
It
39 and a half foot pole. Okay.
Ta-da!
Gargoyles. Kick everybody out. Use the screen.
Yup.
Let's do this. Daisy, release the hounds. All right. Everybody, have a good night. Good luck. Hope you're in fast enough. Oi.
You made it here! Congratulations! Not many survive. Welcome to the end of the show. I'm Daisy, and if you like what you heard here, you can find us pretty much anywhere podcasts are distributed. If you're into the whole social media thing, we're on Twitter at Ramblin Tea House and Instagram at Ramblin_Tea House. You can check for updates there, or there's that one billboard in the forest too. Full disclosure, we're not sure where it came from. If you want to chance that dude with the knives, that's up to you. Or you can learn more at our website, ramblinteahouse.squarespace.com. And also, no matter what Kevin says, the hounds are not for sale, so could you stop asking? Okay, thanks. Bye.